Well, hello again to my most favorite grandchildren in the whole wide world. Yes, that's you, Aubrey. Yes, that's you, Ross Mack. And yes, that's you, precious little Jamie. This is Boom Pie, and I'm here to say I love you. And I've got another wonderful story to share to make your day just a little bit brighter. And today's story is about George, the hero hound. Oh, yes. Now, before we begin, let me mention what a hero is. A hero is someone who's brave. A hero is someone who is courageous. Someone who stands up for the weak, protects those who are unprotected, and makes things right that are wrong. That's George. George, the hero hound, by Jeffrey Ebeler. Now, George was a good old hound dog. Every day George was up, even before the chickens, to help old Farmer Fritz with the chores. That rust bucket tractor was always falling apart, and those wily cows were always plotting to get out and feast on the cornfield. But George didn't mind a whit, as long as he got his afternoon nap. He had a good life for a hound dog. Until the day old Farmer Fritz decided to retire and move to a cabana on the beach where they didn't allow cows. They didn't allow pigs. And sad to say, they didn't even allow dogs. George was left in the dust. Sorry, boy. I need you to look after the farm now that I'm leaving. But not for long. Nothing could have prepared George for the Gladstone family. They packed up their noisy apartment in the city and bought Fritz Farm. Cows, pigs, George, and all. Look, we have a dog. I wonder what his name is. Owen, keep an eye on your sister. Can we keep him? Can we keep him? Pat, pat, pat. George could tell right away that the Gladstone family would need a whole heap of help. There'd be no afternoon naps on the porch for a while. Could someone please hand me a wrench? Oh, this looks important. Thanks. I can't figure out why this tractor won't start. Clank, 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 clank. It works! It works! Hiya, Pooch. I didn't see you there. You're the same color as all these old parts. Maybe we should call you Rusty. Stop! The tractor starts running by itself. Obviously, he's new to being a farmer. Crash! Over by the pasture. George watched as the tractor went clean through the fence, but he wouldn't let the cows get away on his watch. He spent the next couple of hours trying to herd those sneaky cows back into their pen, where they belonged. Now, George was tuckered out. All he wanted was a cool drink of water and to sneak a few winks in the shade. Oh, look at my floor. You are the dustiest dog. I ought to call you Dusty. George was swept out of the house in a cloud of dust. Well, George shook himself off and was just paddling toward his favorite shady spot when he spied something blue. Then Owen came running over. I was supposed to be watching my baby sister, Olive. Can you help me find her, boy? George took a good sniff of Olive's ribbon. He was a hound dog after all. And off they went, looking and sniffing, sniffing and looking. And after searching high and low, they finally found that paint-sized rambler sitting on a hill drinking tea with a chicken. Wow! Good boy, you tracked my sister across every corner of this farm. We should call you Rover. George had saved the day. As he trotted back home, George was sure he would finally, definitely, get his well-deserved nap. Until... crash! Splat! The tractor ran into the barn and knocked red paint, red, all over George. Red! Olive just said her first word. Maybe we should call you Red. Poor George. From that day on, George still didn't get many afternoon naps. But he didn't mind too much. Turns out that he liked herding Olive a lot more than he liked herding cows. And since George figured the Gladstones needed some tips on how to run the farm, he vowed to teach them everything he knew, especially how to deal with those crafty cows. He even hatched a plan to drum up business. Well, hi there, George. Thanks for the delivery. Now, if only George could teach his new family one last thing. His name. The end. Well, that about does it on our story about George on the farm. George the hero dog, always saving the day. But as you can see from our picture that closes out this story, he had several names. Rusty, Dusty, Rover, Red. But after all was said and done, he was just plain George, the hero dog. Well, that's it for right now, my precious grandchildren. I hope you have a great day, and be sure and check back for the next story from Boom Pa. So until then, from Vivi and Boom Pa, we love you with all our hearts. See you real soon.